All right. We've got Dark at the top right side of the map. ASTREA is in the top left. Sorry, guys. My mouse has been fiddling around with me, but there we go. Now, ASTREA is going to come in and block the natural attempt. And Dark is just going to go and take a third. Very common on Ghost River. You know, your third's very far apart, so Protoss love to come over here early, block your expansion, and ruin your day. This is, of course, the Ursasaurus Cup, the kind of replacement for the ESL NA Weekly Cup we've got on right now in the off-season. $400 online tournament. We've got Hero, Dark, ASTREA, Geralt, Beyond. I think Solar might be in the lineup today. I know Shin is in the lineup. Actually, I don't think Solar is, because I was messaging Solar the other day. I think he was on holiday in Japan, I believe. I think he's having a trip with his wife right now, having a good time. So I think Solar's taking a little break from the online competitions during the off-season, while these other nerds just keep grinding tournaments every single week. Thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it, guys. So I think really Dark has been pretty dominant over ASTREA historically. ASTREA will regularly take a map. He'll regularly make the games close. But I always feel like it's a series of like, ASTREA figures out what Dark's doing. He blocks it. Dark does something else silly. ASTREA blocks it. And then ASTREA gets an advantage and is like, he kind of relaxes for a moment. And in that moment, the third wave of silly BS comes in, catches him completely off guard, and just knocks him off his feet. And suddenly Dark wins the game. And this is very common in the ASTREA versus Dark matchup. So it really feels like every time you think you've got a handle on what Dark's doing, you have to remember there's going to be another layer of sneaky Zerg buffoonery. This is especially if you're a Protoss player, because he all-ins Protoss a lot, right? There's always another layer behind it. So never assume that Dark is doing the, in quotation marks, normal thing. Part of Dark's superpower for a long time is a lot of Zergs felt like roaches were bad. And they would say, well, I can't just sit here massing roaches. I need to be sneaking out Mutalisks or rushing to a really fast hive for Lurker Viper, or I need to be doing a really tight Ravager Baneling play off 80 drones very early so I have an economic advantage. And Dark was the one guy who would just sit there and mass roaches off 60 or 65 drones. And on paper, it was a really bad play. But the Protoss would be flying around with oracles, frantically trying to scout, trying to see what's going on, and they just would not be able to figure out what the hell is happening. There's no prediction for this series. That's fine. I mean, I just don't have many mods, guys, these days. If you guys are a gambling addict, you want to help me out, we can hook that up if you're a live viewer. But we're just going to do map by map gambles after this game. I don't want to interrupt the cast. Long story short, to sum up the matchup between these two, you've really got to stay on your toes as ASTREA. And you got to realize that Dark is going to be cheeky. There is no point where he will play normal. He may just mass roaches. And I guess to finish the story, players would be scouting with their oracles and they wouldn't be able to figure out where his tech is because he just wouldn't have any tech. And then they'd kind of overcomplicate it. They'd do something like double forge, take a fourth base, build 80 probes, and they just die to a roach move. And you know, Dark mixes in these very simple attacks very frequently. Speaking of which, he's going to go for a queen walk this game, guys. He's already on 4 queens. He's got a very early roach horn. I am pretty sure he's going to walk 4 queens across the map with about 8 roaches and go for the throat. He needs to build overlords, though. He's going up to 38 drones on 1 gas. Second gas is kind of late. Dark's build orders are so random, man. This is not an optimized queen walk. And now he's building spores. Has he changed his mind? Is he not going to... This is a very early roach horn, guys. I think maybe he thought this was actually a Twilight opening, but now the Oracle's shown itself, and he said, well, I'm not going to bother canceling the roach horn. I'll just go back to economy, but... No, he's building roaches now. What? So he kind of droned up a bit. It's just a very awkward queen walk timing. Okay, it's a 2 gas delayed queen walk timing. Oracle stasis trap's going to land big in the main base while he is distracted, but if you can kill these adepts, it could be nice. The adept positioning is really good. Void Ray will come in and defend the third, of course. Oh, ASTREA. Sloppy micro for ASTREA. That Void Ray should have got on top of that earlier. Zerglings, a few of those will escape. Got 5 queens on the map. 2 of them are walking. A Void Ray can take on 1 queen off creep easily. So if he could go out there and intercept, this would be amazing. Right now, we're on 2 gates, going to 4 gates, and a Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine's really good for obviously shutting this down eventually, but we're not there yet. Oh, I love the batteries on the high ground, guys. He's got batteries there that can heal units as they fall back behind the third, and Dark won't be able to buy all those because he won't have high ground vision. Genius. Oracle could help out the Void Ray. He should have just stood in fort. I think he should just kill that and then go back and heal, but I guess he's like, I need to make sure I defend, so he's going to just do some damage to the Zerglings. There's 5 queens coming, which is easily enough to overpower him. He's got a battery in the natural. And it looks like, oh, that's what's actually going to get hit now. I wouldn't mind him going for that queen, like I said. One Ravager does fall. Oh, Ravager kills are very important. Oh, he needs to be able to pull to the left. ASTREA needs to be able to pull to the left. He's going to... Okay, one Stalker goes down. Not too bad. The Ravager Cocoon does fall. Void Ray needs to fall away. Nice move for him. Dark needs to punch a hole right now, guys. If he can't get in here, he's screwed. The Zealots are good versus Zerglings. They're not great versus the Queens and the Ravagers necessarily. Biles are going to bust the natural. Oh, he missed the Biles. Oh, actually, it was only 2 Biles. He didn't have a third, so he couldn't one-shot the Adept there. Oh, Zealots get surrounded, though. Dark Templar are here. Moving out with those Zealots was a mistake. He should not have got those Zealots surrounded. Dark Templar are smashing right now, but I think Dark can still kill the third. Oh, he needs to target the third, though. He's attacking a battery right now. Oh, damn. The Dark Templar response ASTREA. Predicted the Queen Walk and handled that perfectly. Very nice play. All right, guys. ASTREA in map 2 comes in and blocks the natural. Now, interestingly, he doesn't go to the high ground to confirm that third hatchery's there, but he kind of scouts around the main. Okay. I guess he's just taking a look around. Now, Dark taking his third, not a big deal on this map. Hatch gas pool, very standard. And not a particularly fast gas timing either. Just really standard stuff from Dark. ASTREA, 16 on minerals, 1 on gas, and rallying to the natural. Now, that's interesting. Is he planning to play Twilight? Because normally I see people pull workers onto gas, but maybe he only does this after the Cyber Core. I'm not actually up to date on what is like the most optimal way to play the opening, but I feel like if you do a probe scout like this, pretty standard to pull one off minerals onto gas. We'll see. You don't have to. I mean, you can have a slightly later Stargate. It's not a big deal. He is, of course, harassing at the same time as well. And you can see he pulls off a mineral guy. Yeah, no. So he's keeping the full mineral saturation the whole time. So very mineral focused rather than I need the fastest oracle of all time. You know, you can shave like 6-7 seconds off your Stargate if you do what I was talking about, but you know, do you need to do that? Not necessarily. Drone's going to go out to the third base. Now, I really do feel like on this map, you have to be wary as ASTREA of like just a big Roach Hydra timing. This is something Dark likes to mix in there. The other thing that Dark's a big fan of recently is just kind of skipping Roaches entirely and just making mass Hydra in the mid game. And if they get there, Hydras can do very well versus Stalkers, right? They can do really well. If the Stalkers have a critical mass that outnumber them, sometimes they can pick away at them, but the damage output of the Hydras makes it really hard for the Stalkers, as well as the range being the same. The Stalkers, they can out-micro like Roaches and Zerglings and even Snipe Ravagers very effectively, but Hydras give them something to be a little more worried about. Now, the Adept is going to, of course, cut off these Zerglings because he knows that Dark loves to do that. Dark's rallying 6 Lings through the middle of the map. This is the most Dark opening ever, where he just like rallies Zerglings at your face, but luckily for ASTREA, he's gone Twilight Council and Stalker. So he is indeed going to be going for that Adept opening we predicted because he did not pull off minerals to get one worker on gas. Okay, Overlord does go down. Second gateway's here. Wall-off's complete, so these Lings just all have to go home now. And, oh, ASTREA going in without a Shade active. That's kind of wild. I like the change on targets. Changing targets preemptively, knowing that Dark was going to Spore Trick. He loses the Adept, but you get 2 Spore Tricks. It's okay. If you got a drone, he'd be a little happier. For some reason, Dark had 2 drones over there at his potential 4th base. A little weird. And he is supply blocked on 44, but it's not the worst supply block in that he's only got 2 idle lava, so it's not really slowing him down too much. Now, Lings are going to poke the natural without a battery. He's going to have to pull probes to defend. Yeah, he has to like shuffle the Stalker out, or use the Mineral Walk there. So he's going to lose like 4 probes. This is actually... Oh my gosh. 5 probes? You're kidding me, dude. Dark just A-moves like 10 Zerglings. He just A-moves 10 Zerglings, and because ASTREA's opening was a little bit greedy, he gets so many kills. Now, I don't think ASTREA should have Mineral Walked the probes. Hot take, guys. I think he should have just A-moved the probes and then shuffled the Stalker back, and I think he should have pulled more probes. In that scenario, it's better to pull 10, 12 probes and then be able to just keep hold positioning and pulling back the weak ones while you still have an abundance of extra probes behind it to make up for it. Did cost him a lot. He's now supply blocked as well because he was distracted by that. So this really messed up his build order, and he's obviously not happy with it. He's got 7 Adepts. Warp Prisms, though, are still on his side of the map. And Dark's just going to Massling Bane. Now, I think as ASTREA, you just need to make sure you don't overcommit to this. You can work your way back into this game despite this bad start. The real issue is how do you secure a 3rd base? Dark is going Roach Warren on Hatchery Tech. Oh my god, Dark. This is the most Dark thing ever. Most players here would be beelining towards a lair and droning their 3rd after defending the initial Adepts. Dark is already planning a one base Roach Bane count. A hatchery tech, not one base, but tier 1 hatchery tech Roach Bane all in. He's basically saying, hey, you're going to go for a third, and I'm just going to kill it. Now, ASTREA wisely takes the third gas. He's still making more adepts, but they aren't really finding value just yet. It is just a 4-gate glaives. 2 adepts clean up the Zergling on the third. Lings are going to go for the counterattack. Be funny, is he just going to blow up the Stalker in the wall and bust in? It's a big counterattack. It's mass Zergling right now. And ASTREA's just going mass adept. He knows, hey, you've got only Lings and Banes. As long as I have... Like, he knows that Dark wants to overcommit to army and then just crush him. But the Roach Warren being there is going to give Dark some flexibility. Dark is supply blocked right now. He does want to swap to Roach production. He's just not able to. This battery is poorly placed, guys. I don't think it's quite in range of that Stalker. It might just barely be. It should be one space to the left, though. It's just a little bit better to make sure you can easily heal units in that wall off. He might have judged it just right, though. Immortal coming out right now. It's already almost finished. ASTREA's going to do a 2 Immortal Mass Adept Prism all in. Dark's going to have enough units to hold it. I think if ASTREA takes a third, he's fine. I think he can absolutely transition from here, but he kind of has to realize that Dark's playing a demented defensive macro game, a defensive all-in, I guess you should call it. Basically, he's hoping that ASTREA steps into him so he can blow him up. But now the Observer sees like 14 Banelings coming across the map, and he's like, oh god, I just need to survive. Adepts are pre-spread. The Immortals can come out as well. Can he actually defend this? 7 Roaches, 15 Banes, 60 Zerglings. I think as long as he doesn't panic and clump his units, the Adepts will trade really well. But that is a big if. Lairs on the way, 9 more drones. Dark's going to transition into a macro game from this. And I think after those early workers, ASTREA only being on 41 probes, I think Dark's just too far ahead now. I know that sounds weird, but he overcommitted so much to defense. And if he threw this army away, if he felt pressured to do that, it would be bad. But I think Dark realizes that ASTREA with such a late third has such a bad economy himself that Dark's like, you know what? It's really slow for me to be droning up, but your economy also sucks, so I'm just going to drone my third, my natural up. I'm not even getting to 66 workers. Let's just get to the high 50s, and that's still way better than a Protoss that's been sitting on 2 base for most of this game. And in fact, ASTREA's third is a fake. ASTREA is planning a 2 base all in. He's not actually planning to commit any more than that. Now the Adepts here, he's trying to use, oh, good queen blocking, dude. Nice queen blocking. That's actually really slick. And to transfuse, double transfuse. He double transfused. He only lost 1 drone. He transfused the drone twice to save it. Oh, that's irritating. Baneling speed, melee, roach speed. He's up to 61 drones, so Dark trickled out a few more workers. He has a 4th hatchery on the way. I mean, Dark's just miles ahead. This is such a delayed 2 base all in. And now a forge and 2 more gateways go down. ASTREA's dead. To be starting a forge and probing at this point, ASTREA just does not realize that this base is fully saturated on the left. He's in his mind, Dark's been massing units on like 40 drones this entire time. And he hasn't really caught up with the fact that, no, Dark has added another 20 workers. He has added a lair, which, to be fair, we did see this lair as ASTREA. But ASTREA, I mean, he's still making adepts, which are not really a very effective unit the later the game goes. And he built a few probes, made a forge. He's going to have to move out. He seems to realize, hey, I've got to get something done. But Dark has a gigantic army. And when those 3 upgrades finish, Dark's army becomes about, I want to say 50% more effective. What do you guys think? 50? I'd say about 50% more combat effectiveness the moment these upgrades finish. Got a few force fields. There's only 3 Ravagers to break him, but I think he needs to be pre-spread. I don't think we can rely on force fields that much. And dude, Bane Speed's going to kick in the middle of the fight. Oh no, Bane Speed's about to kick in. He's trying to pre-spread. Here we go! Force fields are amazing! But the sentries getting blown up, which means as the Bile takes them down, the Banelings roll in, the Lings get this around, the Immortals try to recall. There's just too many units coming in from too many sides. It's too hard to push on to creep there. A player of Dark's caliber will always come in from every side, not just one angle. And that is a crushing hold. Massive victory. Dark is going to tie up the series really nicely on site Delta. Hey, what a simple thing, just counterattacking with 10 Zerglings and that Stalker getting hammered in the choke point. Now maybe his Stalker should have been positioned a little further back in the choke point initially so that not so many Zerglings could attack it. Maybe that's, I'll check the replay very quickly to check when that, because I think those 5 probes going down, him getting supply blocked so his Adepts didn't hit very hard, just was so bad. Massling, Bane, Ravager coming forward. ASTREA knows he's done. He's got no damage in this army. GG. All right, guys. Game 3. Dark in the bottom left side. And this is interesting. ASTREA lets him take the natural and just goes for a gate scout. A very conservative opening for ASTREA. Once again, 16 workers on minerals. I think he's going to open up Twilight Council again. Kind of a bummer that ASTREA threw his Adept away, right? Because he just walked his Adept in the mineral line, didn't shade backwards for safety. So he threw his Adept away. Dark immediately counterattacked, killed this, like, you know, got in, killed 5 probes, and it just changed that game too so much. But now that we're in game 3, it's Oceanborn. It's a map that is amazing for Queen Walk. So I think the best strategy here for Dark on a strategic level is to, if you can, be very aggressive with like moving queens off creep every now and then to make it look like you're doing a queen walk, but don't actually do a queen walk. Just play, you know, play some sort of like, you know, maybe a Hydra play or maybe a delayed kind of, you know, Roach Max push or something like that. Something, just something that's not as predictable as just going for the queen walk. Because, you know, on Ghost River, we saw ASTREA was well prepared. So unless you have an answer to that sort of response, that could be it. Now, on the other hand, maybe ASTREA is like underestimating it and just doing the same build again actually works in game 3. Nice. Hatchery goes down on the 3rd. Now, this is where, obviously, no pylon here. He could build batteries on the high ground, though, to heal units down here. So, this pylon positioning is really good for those high ground batteries, just like on Ghost River, if he does end up in that position. I think this is one of those really lovely little adjustments that he started adding in. How you doing, Gering Verdina? How's Dot doing? She's doing great. Really good. Beautiful weather at the moment here. We had about a week of rain and kind of just grey, overcast weather. It was a little cold as well some days. We were like, what? It's felt like summer for most of spring so far. It's felt really hot and had a week of it being, you know, cooler temperatures. Just surprising. But more importantly, it was grey and overcast. Now it's sunny, it's beautiful. We're having a good time here in Sydney right now. Oracle coming out. Overlord's watching, sees that the second Oracle is queued up now. We've already got those 2 Adepts on the front side. Dark only on 4 Zerglings so far. He's been skimping. This is where I would have made fun of Dark for not building an Overlord, but I guess he knew he was going to lose 3 drones, so that's actually unsupply blocking him really nicely here. So Dark planned to lose a ton of workers here, guys, and you can see he didn't lose 7 drones there. He'd be supply blocked right now, but Dark with 300 IQ, not building the Overlord because he knew he was going to take damage. I mean, he skipped Spore Crawlers, so you're always going to take a bit of damage when you do skip Spores. He does force the second Oracle to be used defensively. And, I mean, it wasn't free. 2 Adepts do go down. It's a successful first attack for ASTREA, but we'll see how he goes from there. Now, Evo Chamber has gone down. Did ASTREA see this? No, he did not. That's a big sign of a macro game. If you can see that, it really tells you about Dark's intentions. Now, interestingly, he chronoed this Phoenix kind of unnecessarily, since the Phoenix was already almost out. It's not like he faked building another unit. And the Forge does come down. So 3rd Nexus into Forge Twilight for ASTREA as the Overlord falls. 3rd and 4th Gas are already up and mining. Dark, going +1 melee. He's building a few Spore Crawlers in the natural and the main. 2nd Gas is down for him, and he's going to try and rush that 4th base. Now, this is where a lot of players like to kill the 4th base with the Oracles. They do have enough energy right now. If he wants to, he could go get it. Phoenix Scout sees an Evo Chamber, sees drones, a lot of drones on the 3rd. 2nd Gas, he sees a lot of signs of a macro game. Yeah, the only thing missing is the lair, and you know that lair is going to start up now that that's gone. Like, Dark will 100% go lair in the next 10 seconds, now that the scouting has backed away. It'd be very rare for him to delay it any later than 5:20. It's a very late lair. There we go, 5:20 on the dot. I'm kind of there like, Dark, are we crazy? What are we doing? Charge Archon for ASTREA, guys. So it's Charge Archon against Ling Bane. No blink opening. Interesting. Oracle's looking for damage. Queens are in position, though. Dark's response has been fantastic so far. He's also got the Queen ready on the high ground as well. When that Queen's already in front, it's kind of hard to get in. This Oracle does sneak around the edge. Might go for some Stasis Trap sneaky sneaks. And I do think that's usually a good move. Ah, look at this. He's going to come in from that side. No Spore Crawler, guys. He actually should have just droved over, killed 2 with lasers, but he does get a decent freeze. 9 drones frozen, but losing the Oracle is expensive. And he gets 2 drones frozen there, but almost loses the Oracle. Only gets 1 drone kill. And this is his last Oracle. You do not want to throw your Oracles away in this sort of game, because if he counterattacks you with Heavy Ravager and you're stuck on Zealot Archon, it can be very awkward. Now, ASTREA's been using this style for a while, the Zealot Archon style. It's actually a great pressure. Dark has nothing. Guys, Dark doesn't have a Roach Warren. He's trying to go... Who tries to skip Roaches and go straight to Hydras when their lair is this late? This is so greedy. Dude, if ASTREA was going all out for an attack, Dark has no scouting. past that earlier Overlord. He never confirmed gas on the natural. He's got a little bit of map vision, and that's it. Dark is playing so greedy and so blind right now. ASTREA has an opportunity to do good damage. Does he have enough to punch through the queens, though? Charge is almost ready. One more Zealot Warpen on the front could be big. If he can get these Zealots forward, one more Zealot Warpen, he's got 4 gates with 4 more about to transform. He needs to go soon, but the queens are very tanky, so he doesn't want to go too early. The Banelings should be able to hold back the Zealots. It's all about spreading these Zealots and Adepts out. ASTREA, he's got to spread the Zealots. He's got to go with the Archons first. Zealots have to spread. He should be able to take a good fight right now. He's down 5 workers, though, with no 4th base. He's adding Storm and a 2nd Robo behind it, which is a good tech follow-up. He's forced a lot of Banelings out. He's delayed the Hydras a little, but he's very cautious. And I do think forcing a fight there would have been favorable for him, just because Ling Bane, Queen, very bad at dealing with Archons with a Prism, picking them up and dropping them, as long as the Zealots don't all clump up on the Banes. But ASTREA doesn't take the risk, and I think that's a missed opportunity. We're on the Western US server. ASTREA should have a massive ping advantage. And I think he would have been able to micro that really well. Now Dark's on 5 base, and whilst he doesn't have a high drone count, he can build 10, 15 more drones whenever he wants, and he's had a free pass to Hydras without having to invest in any Roach Tech. Roach Tech falls off really hard. Hydraling Bane has a much longer shelf life. You can hang out on Hydraling Bane for way longer. 10 drones being built, so he's going to go up into the 80s. As we talked about, Dark getting a nice diversified economy. Zealot drop on the south for ASTREA as he thinks about taking a 4th, but he's kind of slow to it. He's only got 5 High Templar. He's actually going to need 7 or 8 High Templar, and this might actually be what loses in this game. Right now, he's got a good army, but if he does not get more Storm energy, he's screwed. Like, if he loses these High Templar before they get Storms, or second Storms kicking in, it's a big problem. He's making Archons, he's making Immortals. He does need some beefy units in front of the High Templar for them to be effective, so it's always a hard game, right? If you just go pure High Templar, you've got nothing to protect the High Templar except a few Immortals. You need some Archons in front, but I do think if he could squeeze a 6th or a 7th High Templar out, it would be very nice for ASTREA. Zealot drop does come in from that side. So far, Dark's been very good mechanically at just kind of getting his units in position. Queens are there, going to cancel the Zealot Warp in and pull back. Good defense so far, but he's going to get surrounded. He's going to get surrounded. He's got to be careful, mate. There's Banelings and Hydras on all sides. Yes, he's coming with Zealots from all sides, but he's going to get surrounded. Oh, my lord. He's getting caught. And ASTREA with a big overcommitment here. He thought that Dark would be busy dealing with the Zealots, but Dark gives up his 5th base, gives up 10 drones, and that's a trade a Zerg will take any day of the week. They will sacrifice a bunch of workers, a base or 2, to kill your valuable units, because if you don't have any Storm left over, any Archons or Immortals, you are screwed. Those Zealots get surrounded as well. Sorry guys, we need to see just how many Protoss units died, so we're going to block the screen for a second. 5 Archons, 3 Immortals! That's huge. Now obviously some of those Archons were High Templar morphing into Archons, but nonetheless, what can you do now? You've got 4 Immortals, 4 High Templar, 4th base will go down, and definitely a big overcommitment for ASTREA. The creep spread, the spread on the units for Dark, really well done, and ASTREA just not able to get much done here. I feel like now with the 4th base getting killed, Dark's back in control. His worker count's not that high, so he definitely could redrone, but I feel like he could also just slip units into the natural. Like, if he just splits his army up, slips into the natural, that could be good. Zealot run by in the south could find some damage. These are +2 Zealots. These Zerglings will get 2 shot by them. +2 melee on the Zerglings, so they do good damage, but they just disappear so fast, they don't really get a chance to do as much as you'd like. Looks like a Storm landed on a few Zerglings on that side. Queen's taking damage, nice transfuses. 1 or 2 drones might go down, but it's like ASTREA is now desperately in need of that 4th base. Yeah, Natural's going to start losing mineral patches now, so he's down to just 2 bases of minerals, 3 base gas. He's got a ton of High Templar, as we talked about. He does need maybe 1 or 2 Archons. I said he's going to need a lot of High Templar this game. He agrees with me. As long as he spends all of his resources now on gas, keeps using the Zealots to counterattack. The Zealot multi-prong's really good, but it's best when the Zerg's attacking you, right? If the Zerg's attacking you, that's when it's strongest. And look at this, he's hunting for it. He knows Zealots moved here. So Dark's like hunting for these Zealots, but they actually hide in the corner successfully. Baneling drop's going to go across the map as well. I love that move for Dark. Dark's Infestation Pit's only halfway done. So in terms of tech, it's a while until ASTREA's army hits its expiry date. He's still got a very solid kind of army advantage. And there's no, you know, hive. There's no Broodlords, no Ultras coming in. Ooh, these Banelings could actually do very big damage, and it could distract him while the army runs in the right side. Archon Morph is big. That's really big. But he's still going to kill a bunch of probes, I think. Oh no, you've got to click on the pylon. Just 5 probes, not a big deal. Ling's running in on this base. I don't think they get a cancel there, do they? No, there's a Mortal Archon High Templar ready for this. Base is going to defend. 9, 10 probes, not bad. ASTREA's economy is very bruised and Dark is rich, so this is still a good trade for Dark, but it's not game winning just yet. Zealots hit both sides, but look at this. Dark has realized ASTREA's doing the same move over and over again, and every time Dark's getting better against it. Oh, Baneling Drop gets another 5 probes on top. Not as many as it could have been, but ASTREA needs to reprobe up really hard if he wants to play a longer game, or he can just stop probing and just make Archons and just try to go for one big attack. He's making Blink preemptively because he's thinking, well, you might go Broodlords, I'll need Blink. He's got 9 High Templar. And the thing is, I feel like now Dark just throws the kitchen sink at him from every side, and if you aren't watching one side, your High Templar die to Banelings. But actually, not on this side. I mean, ASTREA should easy handle that. Oh, a lot of those go down. This army, 3 Immortals, 5 High Templar. Get it out of there! ASTREA, pull back! Oh no, he's gonna get wrecked. Oh, good storms. Really good instant storms. He only loses 1 High Templar. And more Lings jumping on top. He's got to morph Archons. He morphs 1. But he's losing his High Templar. This is what I was talking about. If you're even a little late on your storms, or if you're a little low on support, Dark just goes for some crazy YOLO surrounds. And round 2 of mass units on the left side. There's still an Adept in the wall off with a Warp in. He should be solid. Dark trying to get in there right now. 9 Immortals. He's about to be 11 Immortals. I don't know if the Lurker transition is going to cut it for Dark. I kind of feel like Broodlords would be a much better transition. I mean, Lurkers will help. It really is. At Protoss with a garbage economy right now, who's building a Death Ball, and Zerg needs to build the best answer to that, which is Broodlords. Broodlord, Lurker, Infestor, Viper. The ultimate 4 Zerg units in their entire arsenal. The 2 long-range siege units, including the splash damage one in terms of the Lurker. Ultimate long range in terms of the Broodlord, as well as Flyer, so it can't get hit by Immortals. Then you need the Spellcasters as well on top. And that will crush, if you use it correctly, against an Immortal Archon High Templar force. But right now, ASTREA, he's got 60 probes. He's trading 3,000 resources better. Dark has not taken a 6th base. He's not taking gases on these expansions. Like, Dark's not transferring workers. His play is sloppy. Dark is not capitalizing on his lead as well as he could. Is he still ahead? Yes. Has he still got many chances to win this game? Yes. But he is not playing the clean game where he could have stomped ASTREA with the opening positions that they've had. Not much Storm available, guys. He's got to just fight this. Nice recall. Loses 2 High Templar and an Immortal. Gets most of the Archons out. Needs more High Templar. Zealot Warp in on the counter. This is like these big Ling Bane surrounds, Ling Hydra surrounds, more importantly, are just everything right now. Like, ASTREA needs to get his Archon count up, and that's what he's missing right now. I know I've been talking about Storm all game long, but guys, if he doesn't warp in 3 or 4 more Archons, 2 Archons is not enough to clear the Zergling surrounds, and he's literally just going to force you to storm your own High Templar to death by jumping on top. ASTREA is trying to fight for map control, but he doesn't have the units in position, and this is where everything gets messy. Lings flank that left side, Banelings clear up the Zealots. Cannons on the 4th base go down. Remember, there's no recall, he just used that on his army. Lings are in every single base at once. Prism in the main gets sniped by the Hydras, the Zealots will get cleaned up there. I mean, don't get me wrong, Dark's going to lose a lot of economy. But he says, you know what, do I want to lose a lot of economy and in return get to kill your entire economy? Yes, that sounds like a good trade, I'll take that. 39 probes have gone down, Lings are ransacking, and there's just not much answer unless this army can catch the Lurkers on their own. Maybe the army still wins. It's 15 Immortals. It is 15 Immortals. If he can catch, if he splits the army right now to the left, ooh, he's going to go all in one ball. ASTREA's a bit too stressed right now because he's trying to survive at home, but his Zealots literally cannot hold on. He's going to just like lose everything. He's going to lose his base. Oh my gosh, he's actually going to lose a base trade. Guys, he's just going to lose every building. He has to go home right now. Dark's economy is being stomped on, but that's fine. Like, Dark's still got 1,000 minerals, 600 gas coming in. He's going to kill every building. An Oracle did get out, which is a nice move, but if he doesn't recall, he's just going to lose the base trade. ASTREA's going to try and break him because he knows if he recalls back, he can't win the game. He's got to kill everything and then recall, but he doesn't have the time to do both. Even if he clears this Lurker position, he's screwed. I like the flank. I do like that flank. Beautiful flank. But there's just the Lurker spread. He only hit some of it. And Dark. Excellent gameplay from Dark. Really good Ling run bys there. And just going for +2 Adrenal Gland Mass Zergling to counter ASTREA in the late game. Not what you expect, but it works out because he's able to surround those small Protoss armies that were desperately fighting for map control. Really well played there by Dark. GG's.